Okay. Okay. There we go. Up and running. Again. So, let's check one or two things here. Make sure everything's straight. Okay. All right, so welcome everyone. Maybe some of you that are viewing this live, and some of you that may view this at a later time. So, sorry for the late notice on getting this out or announcing this event. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to squeeze it into today, and it just worked out to put it together. So, a couple things. Some of, I know I've mentioned in a previous video regarding this GURU boot camp. It's sort of like just a theme for these videos. And I had a couple interesting, say, interactions with people on the street or while wearing, say, my hat. This is basically the same thing as this shirt, GURU boot camp. And they were like Guru boot camp. Ah, that's interesting. And I was like, yeah, GURU. And they were like, yeah, Guru. And you know, it really wasn't clicking through the main theme of what it actually means. You know, what I'm basically describing this means. So if you view the letters individually, so like as individual words, so G, U, R, U, as individual words instead of letters in a one word. So it's GURU. You're remembering who you are, who we are, and so on. So that's what it's basically tied to. It's more like a phrase, you know, GURU. So just a little bit of clarity on that. It's this video and or live stream is in many ways a continuation from my last video, the Ascension update of 2019 that I made a couple weeks ago. And I'll link that video below for those of you that didn't have the chance to view it. So the biggest part, and there's different parts of this topic that has been coming to me to share, and it's as I mentioned in the last video, is that we are creating as we essentially walk. We're living, you know, in these days of new expanded energetics. And the part of us, say, evolving and unifying our existence together has a lot. It has a lot to do with how we interact and how we work together and or view each other and treat each other and, you know, live and create together. And, you know, I had in this title of this live stream, you know, Federation of Free Worlds. And I'm not the first person to basically use that, you know, to use or talk about the Federation of Free Worlds. There's a lot of other people that have talked about what the Federation of Free Worlds is, and, you know, I'm not going to get into all that. What I'm mainly going to, you know, bring up and discuss is what it's going to take for us to join the Federation of Free Worlds. And, that in itself is a matter of how we live, how we are living together, and so on. So I'm just going to dive right into this so that way this video, and or live stream stays somewhat short and I don't go rambling on too much. But if you do come in and start viewing this live, or if you're viewing this live, please post a comment, just say hi, and or ask if you're viewing this at a later time, you can always post your comments or questions below the video in the YouTube comments. So first off, the overall phrase is respecting all life in all of its forms and taking responsibility for our creations, not only individually, but collectively. So that's what this is themed around. And so we're going to break it down. So let's look at respect. Respecting not only, first, for those of you that have been going through, your own personal transformation and, integrating different levels of your own remembrance and integrating, levels of your, say, more of your multidimensional self and so on. We learn when we're going through our personal transformation to respect ourselves, respect our, stand in your own power, to integrate your own, say, respect to where you stand up for what you truly see as your own inner truth. And therefore you're releasing victim consciousness, standing in your own power and living your own truth. And that takes self-respect. Just as there is self-love, there's self-respect. So when it comes to moving into, let's say, respect for more of our collective self is, respecting the earth as a living being of consciousness. And that's breaking that down is respecting the earth and respecting what it provides us to live on, and so on. And a lot of people might view that as some kind of belief or whatever else, and it's a matter of us truly knowing, connecting with yourself to a degree to where your connection with the earth. You actually can feel it. You sense it. There's a lot of people out there can sense and feel when there's an energetic buildup, and all of a sudden there's a volcanic release, and they actually physically can feel a release, feels freer, and so on. And there's more and more people that are getting in touch with that, say, expanded energetics of feeling your connection with the earth. You actually feel it, not only physically, but consciously. And, being out, beyond the earth, sensing the sun to a greater degree, sensing if there's a buildup or, there's more activity on the sun, and the release of that and the integration of that. So it goes, what I'm describing here is something that we are living. It's not believing. So when it comes down to respect, staying on the topic of as much as possible here, the respect, going back through, say, native or indigenous aspects and cultures, throughout time and space on Earth, very much sort of like the Aborigines or the American Indians and South American, indigenous people, and throughout time have respected the earth for what it provides. If an animal is taken for food, the animal is respected. It's honored. After it's killed, you're honoring, thank you for providing me the food to live. There you go. Hello, Lisa. What's up? So nice to join in. Thanks for making a comment there. What's up, LL? So the biggest thing is there's a level of respect when the animal is taken. It's providing food, it's providing nourishment to being able to live, and live a healthy life, to be sustainable, to, it's not like we are, if we're in a desert scenario, or if we're in today time where we're actually in a house, it's still having respect for where the actual food has come from, and how it was basically how it got to us, and so on. It's just a matter of respect. That's all it is. So, taking that example and moving into another level of respecting each other for, everyone's free will, respecting other people's free will. Free will to create what we choose to create, and respecting, say, another person's free will to create what they create. It's sort of like multi-layered of what I'm getting into. So we might be able to respect another person's free will to create what they wish to create, but at the same time, we are collectively creating together. And that is the part that, we need to, say, get a little bit more aware of, is what we are collectively creating together. Through our individual choices and how we live individually, we're collectively creating together this environment that we call, Earth. So, to give a couple examples, and in a future video, the topic of, us living together and unifying is going to be a whole nother video. But it's a matter of, this is a good example that's very much prominent in today's world. It's sort of like the topic of guns is to me is a great example. I grew up in the mountains. I grew up around guns. And shooting guns and living in that space. So we have different views. We might have different views of what, say, having a gun and using a gun is for. You could view it as, if you hunt and you actually you eat what you shoot, and you respect, the animal, and you choose to live in that way. Of course, you need something to shoot. That's a gun. Now, other people view guns as they need a gun to protect themselves. And if you view that in that way, there's totally fine with that. So we have a lot of different political views that are out there right now that are in the collective regarding this topic. Again, this is an example. That's all it is. It's not a matter of right or wrong. It's just a matter of what is out there right now. So we have people that saying, I must not give up any of my rights regarding a gun because I have fear of other people taking my guns. And then there are other people that basically says, we don't need any guns because we have all these shootings, we have everything else in this world. And there is middle ground. There is a middle ground. But what is it going to take to reach this middle ground? And that is respect. Is respecting what we are individually creating, but also collectively creating. The part that basically says that I have fear of loss, we need to meet in the middle of, okay, there has to be another level of responsibility on a collective part to where maybe the guns are not as accessible. The people that actually have guns, if you are not responsible for what you have, therefore it'd probably be a good idea that you lose them for a little while till you actually gain more respect and responsibility for what is going on in our collective world together. On the other hand, is the people that might not have any experience with a gun and then have fear of them in the first place and therefore want to rid the earth of them. Again, respect for other people in those scenarios that wish to have a gun, and again, respecting the other person's free will to create and or experience what they wish to create. So there's a lot of, say, blending and, again, respect for one another in order for us to create the environment that we wish to, say, live within. But it's not a matter of standing and just calling out people and continually pointing fingers. It's a matter of us standing up, taking responsibility for what we are collectively creating, and then respecting one another to the point where we're able to essentially create a more sustainable environment together. That's just the topic of guns. And it's not a matter of us, again, standing in our corners and continuing to yell around and create more laws to regulate what exists. It's a matter of us working together to join and merge and live together sustainably. So that's a little bit of an example of today's environment and respect playing into that role. Respecting other people's free will to create what they wish to create. So the other part of this is responsibility for us, say, what we are individually creating, taking responsibility for what we're individually creating, and responsibility for what we are collectively creating. And so this gets into what the reason why the topic of, say, the words Federation of Free Worlds is involved in this discussion, is that in order for us to truly live sustainably with other, say, intelligent collectives of beings, or you could say other worlds of sustainable, intelligent beings, we need to start living as a collective of respectful and responsible beings. It's not a matter of anyone or anything coming down to earth to save anyone, to essentially, take us or anyone into another level and or another space and say, okay, here you are. You're like a seed or a plant. Are you going to be able to live sustainably in another environment that is, out of your your views and perceptions? Are you really going to really be able to wrap your mind around what is going on here if you continue to hold on to, if we continue to hold on to, what we are currently living through in this world currently of major inflated polarities? The inflated, wild, crazy stuff that's going on right now is needed for us to really see the insanity of what we are doing to one another, why we're in the situation that we're in. It's sort of like the earth changes in a way. A lot of people, and again, that is multifaceted. It is multi-layered. It's multidimensional of what the earth changes. And so it's not just one thing regarding the earth changes. It's multifaceted. So a lot of people blame the earth changes, climate changes, everything else on humans. It's not just humans that are causing these energetic changes, and or say changes in different climates, and so on. It's even though there's a level of respect that we collectively can be living sustainably and responsibly, responsibly on the planet. So it's a matter of us truly, I forgot what in the heck I was going there. You posted this comment there, Lisa, so I was like, let's see what. Same goes with the expectations everyone needs to be vegetarian or vegan if they involved in the spiritual world, would you say? Yes. Yeah, it's a matter of respect, and it's not a matter of us all living in the same way, and it's sort of like, or having the same viewpoints as everyone else. The other part of that I wrote down in one of my notes regarding all of this topic and this whole, our evolution together is, I was talking about the inflamed polarities. So if we viewed the collective, our collective self of all humans on Earth right now, as being left essentially just one big brain, and my hair is going out because of this thing. So it's like if we viewed our collective brain and us and all of our thoughts and actions and everything else as simply one collective brain. We have a left brain physically, we have a right brain, and the different aspects of the left and right brain. Just as within our collective brain of us all together, all the individual thoughts, actions, and choices going into that collective brain, the left brain is more structured. It has more, structure. It has more different outlook compared to the right brain, very much free. It's more, might be a little bit more feminine in aspect. It has more creativity and so on. So it's not a matter of, the example that you gave, Lisa, regarding vegetarian, that everybody needs to be vegetarian or vegan, is very much the same thing. It's not like everyone has to be in the same way. We are a collective of fragmented pieces of the same being. And, you could say that the universal self or whatever else, but our collective essence here on Earth is a collective. It's a collective essence in itself. So that's where I guess we're getting into 25 minutes already of me going on about and sharing this topic. So I'll try to wrap this up. It's for us to truly get to know more of our expanded star relatives on a collective level. It's a matter of us starting to live more respectfully and taking more responsibility for us living together on planet Earth. It's a matter of us living in those ways, making individual choices, working together to a great degree, sharing with one another to a great degree. Therefore, we will truly start to know what it means to be a member of the Federation of Free Worlds. It's not a matter of anyone coming down here and saying, if you wanting to do this or live in this way, this is what you have to do. It's a matter of us doing it naturally. It's the same as, you can't go up to somebody on the street that's totally, living in a certain way, and you say, well, you need to do this or you need to do that. It's a matter of us sort of like naturally wanting to, and through our actions, making new choices, living in a new way. So I think that's it. I think I brought the point across. Thank you, Lisa, and anyone else that's has been viewing this live stream live, and then any of you that view this at a later time and it's always nice to hear any comments or questions. You can post them below in the comment section on YouTube. If you would like to have notification of any future, say, videos and or events, please subscribe to the channel. The subscriptions and likes on YouTube, what I've been learning more and more, has a lot to do with how well the video is shared through the YouTube network. So subscriptions and likes, not just this personal thing on as far as the video, it actually has to do with how the video is distributed and how viewable it is within the public. So that's always a good thing to have, likes and subscriptions. So I think that's it. It's nice to be able to share and to be able to do this. I've been testing out the different backgrounds, different things. I'm not really sure how these background things work because it frizzy hair and so on. So I'm going to be continuing to test out new things. In the future, be bringing on, maybe able to do a combined collaborative dual video live stream with other people and so on. So hope this video is beneficial in some way to you. And the biggest thing is that we continue to spread the word and live, more in harmony and balance with one another through, our own individual choices on a daily basis. There you go. Another one down, 30 minutes. Cheers, my friends. Love zaps flowing out to everyone. I will see you all next time. Cheers.